Crimson Desert was supposed to be the next big thing. People were calling it the game that could finally beat The Witcher 3 and even challenge Red Dead Redemption 2. It had dragons, mechs, huge boss fights, and a world that looked absolutely massive. But then the reviews came out, and instead of everyone loving it, we saw something very different. People are fighting over this game. Some are calling it a masterpiece, others are saying it is a mid-game. So what went wrong? Why are so many people hating on Crimson Desert? Let's break it down. First, let's talk about expectations. Before the game came out, it had over 3 million wishlists on Steam. That is huge. People were comparing it to The Witcher 3 and RDR 2. Sony even tried to make it a PlayStation exclusive, but Pearl Abyss said no. So the hype was real. Everyone expected this to be a 10 out of 10 game. But when the reviews came out, after the game release and gamers played this game, and at beginning it got mixed reviews. Why did some gamers hate this game we will discuss further, but one of the main reasons was that gamers set some expectations in their mind that the game didn't deliver, and not every gamer is hating it. The disliking percentage of the game is almost 30% at the time of making this video. Now let us get into the biggest complaint, the story. Review after review says the same thing. The story is weak. PC Gamer said it is not exactly exciting and called it bland and nonsensical. Eurogamer gave the game 3 out of 5 stars and said the story feels undercooked. IGN mentioned that the characters are hard to care about. One reviewer summed it up perfectly. They said the story does not make any sense and it feels like a chore to play, but also Crimson Desert could be one of the best games of the generation. That's the weird thing. The game is full of contradictions. The problem is that people were expecting a deep, emotional story, but that is not what Pearl Abyss is known for. They made Black Desert Online, an online game where the story is not the main focus. Some critics said they expected this going in, because Korean action games usually focus more on gameplay than storytelling. The funny part is that the side quests actually have more charm than the main story. PC Gamer said all the charm it is missing can be found in its side quests, so the game has good writing, just not in the main campaign. Next up is the controls. This is where people are getting really angry. If you go on Steam right now, the user reviews are mixed, and most of the negative reviews are about one thing, the controls. One user wrote that the controls have made it incredibly hard to enjoy because everything seems like a chore. Another person said whoever made these controls needs to be fired. They said it is such a good and promising game, completely ruined by some of the worst controls and movement in modern gaming. That is harsh, but here's the thing. Pearl Abyss heard the complaints. They actually apologized and released a patch to fix some of the control issues. But for many players, the damage was already done. First impressions matter. If your game feels clunky in the first few hours, people are going to drop it. Now let's talk about the game's biggest ambition. It tries to do everything. You can hunt, fish, cook, set up camps, ride dragons, ride bears, ride a mech, fight massive bosses, do arm wrestling, clean chimneys. The list goes on. It's like the developers threw every game idea from the last 10 years into one game. And here's the problem. When you try to do everything, nothing feels truly polished. While there are tons of activities, that huge number of activities can sometimes backfire because they often lack depth. You end up with a game that is wide as an ocean but deep as a puddle. It's like an endless trail of treats, but not all these systems are made equal. So some activities are fun, others feel pointless. Even the combat, which most reviewers praised, has critics. IGN said it feels uneven and that some fights go on for too long. Let's quickly talk about performance and bugs. The good news is that it's not a disaster like Cyberpunk 2022 was on consoles. The PS5 version was tested and said the worry was probably not needed. But that doesn't mean it's perfect. On base PS5 and Xbox Series X, the quality mode runs at 30 frames per second, not 60. Some players say the graphics can look blurry at times. There are also bugs. One reviewer got stuck inside a quest giver and another merged with their horse. Most of these bugs can be fixed, but it adds to the feeling that the game was not fully polished when it came out. Now, I don't want to make it sound like this game is terrible, because it isn't. The reason people are so upset is because they see the potential. The combat is genuinely great. Reviewers said it absolutely rips and compared it to Devil May Cry. It's fast, smooth, and full of combos. You can grab enemies, throw them, do wrestling moves, and chain everything together. When it works, it's amazing. The world is also beautiful. They can't overstate how incredible this aspect of the game is. There were times they just picked a direction and explored for hours. And the verticality is great. You can climb mountains, glide across the sky, and find hidden areas. If you can get past the rough start, it becomes one of the best open-world games they've ever played, even better than Elden Ring and RDR2. But that's the catch. You have to push through. The first 8 hours are a learning curve. The game doesn't hold your hand. It throws you into a massive world with complicated systems and says, figure it out. For some players, that's exciting. For others, it's frustrating. So here's the bottom line. People are hating on Crimson Desert for a few reasons, but at the same time, the combat is incredible. The world is beautiful, and if you're the kind of player who loves figuring things out on your own, you might absolutely love it. This is a game where the reviews are all over the place. Some say it's a generational triumph. Others say it's unplayable because of the controls. The truth is somewhere in the middle. So my advice is to wait for a few patches. Let Pearl Abyss fix the inventory issues and smooth out the controls. This could be an amazing game in 6 months. Right now, it's a rough diamond. That's it for today. What do you think? The whole video is based on the reviews across internet, and I didn't add up anything from my side. I'm the kind of person that can play anything. If you enjoyed this video, hit like and subscribe. Until next time, peace out.